I'm so glad you kind of showed a little bit of what it is behind the scenes. And yeah, when I watched that interview, I was thinking, who's the guy on the other side of that camera? Because, I mean, I've gone to film things in crazy locations where we have one take, but that's a tiny percentage of what you're doing there. And it's all down to that one guy, and he can screw it up. He can lose his faith. He can softball it, right? And not get him to say. There's so many problems that can happen there. So you get out of there that night. What happened afterwards? And was it bigger or smaller than you thought it was going to happen on the back of it?
We got back to headquarters in Mamaroneck about maybe 11:30, and everyone came back to the production room. There's actually a video that exists of us watching this encounter, and it was like the Super Bowl. People were jumping up and down in the production room, crying tears of joy that we had pulled off this insane, riveting, truth is stranger than fiction sort of episode. I was hugging my colleague. There was 15 of us clustered into this edit bay back at headquarters. And I said to my editor producer, I said, God, I don't envy you having to produce this, but there was so much adrenaline and there was so much cohesion on the team. This is January 26th. There was so much adrenaline and cohesion that I think they produced the piece overnight and it was ready tomorrow morning. And I remember thinking as an editor, gee, it would take me 7 days to do that justice, but there was just, we were flowing. And that was the pinnacle. That was the apex of everything that I had built, or we had built over the course of 14 years. And then a few days later, I was ousted from the company.
Man, that's really intense, James. I mean, it's going to make a great movie one day. You know that, right?
That's what people tell me. We'll see.
The last thing you want to hear when you're in the middle of it. I think Malone had told me that maybe he saw it and then he called up Tucker or something, and then obviously then it blew up, and it was bigger than you thought it was. Or did you think the mainstream media might actually cover it, or because they didn't?
It was big because Elon Musk had let me back on Twitter just a few weeks prior. So I was banned on Twitter for 2 years.
Wow. So without that, it might have been much smaller.
Happened. Wow. Yeah, without Twitter, I mean, Elon is changing the world in his own way. And Twitter is the main distribution mechanism for what I've done over the years, particularly recently. So without Twitter for 2 years, I mean, it was like the dark ages. We had to put stuff on Telegram and get people to distribute by proxy, download the clip on Telegram, upload it into their Twitter. So it was a lot more difficult. 80% of our distribution comes from Twitter. So we were let back on Twitter. And then I interviewed Dr. Malone for the piece itself. So there's a section of Dr. Malone saying, I think his quote was, "The gentleman seems to have no introspection whatsoever." So we put that in the piece. And then Friday night, Pfizer responded. Yep.
Wow. Is that done? Is there more to do with Pfizer going forward, or I guess maybe you couldn't say.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, first of all, Debbie came out in on stage with me in March. Very inspirational. She said that she was targeted. They had vans parked outside of her home. She was worried for her life. We did a fundraiser for her. It's ongoing. I think the number of people that have reached out to me since is huge. And the thing about investigative work is that it takes a while. I mean, I was tempted to release something just yesterday, and I held it because I wanted to get more evidence, more corroboration. It's always a question of, well, when do you publish? And I think that broadly speaking, at OMG, I want to publish sooner rather than later, but it's always that balance of, well, if I publish this, it's going to burn my ability to get more and more and more and more, because I want 5-part expose, not just to drop in the bucket, knowing that our enemies are going to cover their tracks and say it's isolated and dismiss this guy or that gal. So you need like a lot of evidence and a lot of pressure to create a campaign for reform.
Right. And I think I remember in that Acorn case that you did a long time ago, I think I remember you saying one of the smartest things you did was to drop pieces regularly after you did it. And so the media wouldn't just dismiss it as a one-off. you kind of held back, so you had lots of content, and that way it made it convincing, and you got like some major reform on that.
An isolated, and they'll say it's an isolated. This is 2009. They said it was an isolated incident. Now, why would they say that? They don't know what I have in the queue, but they're bending over backwards to try to rationalize or minimize the fraud, which is deeply ironic, given their whole purpose is to tell stories and tell the truth. But I think people are waking up to this in a way that I've never seen in the recent year or two, and most people get it. The institutional media is dying. Chris Litch is out at CNN today. I think that he was probably trying to bring CNN back to where it was in 1991, but there are efforts to reject that. But I think that people are hungry and desperate for this sort of journalism, and I have a very big responsibility to do it ethically, and it's very expensive. I mean, what advice? Vice Media went bankrupt, and they had a thing in Times Square in New York City that said, "We go there." That's what they said. This is about 10 years ago. We go there. Imagine how broken the media must be when your unique value proposition is you actually go onto the location you're reporting on. Like people just don't do this anymore, and so it's very expensive. It's a big responsibility to do it the right way. I think the sky's the limit. I think that we're going to be more successful than we ever have been.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. The greedy bankers are about to do it again. In 2008, they crashed our financial system and nearly bankrupted the entire global economy. Then they received trillions of dollars in government bailouts. And after, they demanded fat bonuses paid for by you, the taxpayer.
It turns out the banks haven't just been screwing the American taxpayers, they're also screwing over their investors. Turns out the banking industry is the worst place you could put your money, despite enormous taxpayer bailouts.
Now the bankers are back to take away your financial freedom. They lie and tell you that cryptocurrency isn't safe. They try to make it illegal for you to choose how to invest your hard-earned money. They lie and say cryptocurrency is used by money launderers and criminals. But look at the record. It's the banks themselves that launder hundreds of billions of dollars every year to the biggest criminal operations in the world.
Leaked documents have revealed how some UK banks have helped criminals, money launderers and Russians under sanctions.
American authorities discovered that the Sinaloa cartel moved $881 million through HSBC accounts as bank officials turned a blind eye to the illegality.
The bankers lie and say cryptocurrency is not a real investment. Meanwhile, the smartest CEOs in the world are buying billions and billions of it. The truth is that banks lie about cryptocurrency because it makes them scared. The banks take $9 trillion per year of your hard-earned money, and they are worried that they will finally be exposed. They're scared because crypto means they can no longer control your money, which means they can no longer control you. They are scared because you might actually understand your money and intelligently decide what to do with it. Now is the time for us to come together, fight back, and take control. It's time to educate ourselves, our families, and our communities. Because financial education means financial freedom. We know that cryptocurrencies will help us build the new decentralized financial system of the future. A banking system that is of the people, by the people, and for the people. A banking system where access to finance is a fundamental human right. A banking system that is free and fair and welcomes all humans on this earth. The DeFi revolution is happening. We, the people, can no longer be fooled. We choose to take control of our finances. We choose to take control of our freedom. We choose to take control of our future. Join us, and let's take back our financial freedom forever.